Hello and welcome to the Tuesday Tell-All. It is Tuesday already. My name is Bobby Fazio. This is Driver Interviews with Bobby Fazio channel because I couldn't come up with anything more original than that. At Driver Interviews is the handle, and hashtag the car show, like I always say. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We had a busy, hot weekend of racing, rainy in certain areas, dry in other areas, and painful in all areas. So I hope everybody's doing well out there. I have I got my Mike Boyle's good old Charlie Brown station wagon shirt on because I forgot to give Mike a shout out last week. I saw him at the Stick Shift Nationals, and always enjoy speaking with Mike. He's out of King, North Carolina. Great guy, and fed me before I went to the airport too. Really cool. And everybody else at the Stick Shift Nationals, which is one of the coolest races ever. Darian Houston obviously was there, and his family. I never really kind of gave you guys any results from that, but Brad Smith, who is a stock eliminator racer, super stock racer, I should say, big block stick shift Camaro racer, he was runner up at that race in a modified Corvette. So, anyways, a little a week and a half, 2 week late, belated shout out to the Stick Shift Nationals. Who's out there? We got Bruce Fulper. Welcome, race fans. 5 mile per hour in the pits. Yes, that's even slower than a school zone. I'm telling you. What's going on? Where's Walt Walker? There he is. Let's go. Happy Tuesday, Walt. Hope to see Walt pretty soon. Brian, cool. Definitely not cool where I'm at right now. Good evening. Happy Tuesday. How you doing? How hot is it where everybody lives, by the way? It was like 90 something here yesterday, and I think it topped out at 100 today, and it's probably about 96 right now. I'm probably going to dip down in the 80s tonight. Hayden Brown, what's going on down there in New Orleans? How hot is it there? Let me know. Don Kennedy, what's going on, Don? How you doing? Sounds great to me. Thank you, Don Kennedy. Don Kennedy founded this whole project, by the way. He's the one that told me to start interviewing racers in the pits. I just never thought it would be this big. I would have come up with a better name for it. Tom Gent, how you doing, Tom? Good to see you. Saw Tom last week. Joe Collins, I saw Joe Collins last week. No luck at Virginia. None of us had any luck at Virginia, right, Joe? I think Joe had a first-round matchup with Dan Fletcher. That's never fun. Bruce Fulper, 7. Oh, Bruce Fulper, California weather. Yeah, lucky guy. Dennis Chapman, what's going on, Dennis? How you doing, buddy? Michael Boris, what's up? Enjoyed the dinner. Yeah, buddy. That was awesome. Thank you very much. Give a shout out to Sterling Simmons. Well, I was planning on doing it later, but we'll do it right now. We got Sterling Simmons, Ray Skipper, Ron Urquhart, and Pi Dent and their lovely wives. Second year in a row that I've noticed it. I don't know if they've been doing it longer than that, but they put together a nice barbecue at Virginia Motorsports Park on Friday night after first round. So it was a nice ending to a very hot and otherwise miserable day for me anyway, I'd say. But it was really cool. So thank you guys very much, and thank you to your lovely wives. The food was amazing. Ron Urquhart too even made a cake. Like there was desserts in addition to all the wonderful food that they had. Pork chops, ribs, I should say, not pork chops. They had ribs. They had burgers, dogs, mac and cheese. They had fish. It was amazing. And desserts. So it was great. Joe Eustace, great catching up with you at VMP in the staging lane Saturday. Yeah, you too, Joe. I'm glad I stuck around a little longer on Saturday. I was able to get some work done, a couple little camera work, I should say. And yeah, can't do that if you leave right away. I don't like leaving. First of all, if you ever see me like lose, I don't feel like loading anything up. So odds are I'm going to be there for multiple hours afterwards. I don't understand some of the guys that like they lose and it seems like half an hour later you see their trailer like pulling out. I'm like, man, how'd they do that? I have no motivation after a loss. Like it takes at least one night's sleep to to load everything up and get some motivation. What's up, Mark? How you doing, man? Mark owns that silver Mustang behind me. I got to get back in that thing. Maybe I'll have some better luck. Who else we got out there? Cobra Jet Racer, 9500. Hello from the Motor City. George Wright, he had a pretty good weekend, didn't he? Out in Norwalk. How you doing, George? Jimmy Carter, it's hot in Stewartsville. And it's 98 here. Rich B says 98 there where he is. So, yeah, it's been nasty. Nasty. Always cool here, waiting for the next adventure. All right, Don. Where is the next adventure? Let us know. Chuck Weisberg, top of the evening. What's up, Chuck? How you doing, buddy? Ray Thurston, still awake. Oh, he's in bed. He's in bed, so I don't know how long he can stay up. He's here, but he's in bed. The heat sucks to work in. Would rather race in it. Yeah, man. Obviously. Made it to the quarterfinals in super stock. There you go. Way to go, George. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, we got Steve Foley, stock eliminator winner at Virginia this weekend, coming on the show tonight. Hopefully he'll sign in a little bit. We got some other stuff to take care of. Driverinterviews.com is the website. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you could. I got a lot of new subscribers the last 2 weeks after putting up that Stick Shift Nationals video. So thank you for that. At Driver Interviews, hashtag the car show. Appreciate all you guys' help. Draginsights.com. Research yourself, research your opponents. What else? Well, there was some new things. There's scorecards going out after your race weekends. There are newsletters going out. There are always making advancements. I met with Alicia today, and big things in the future there for Drag Insights. So as of right now, though, check out your stats for free, guys. All you need is an email address. So if you haven't done that yet, all you need is an email address. You will get a password. You can log in and check out your stats if you want to see your opponent's stats or people in your class and things like that. Then you will have to purchase the premium membership, which is $79 a year or $10 per month. So draginsights.com. Check that out. And if you want to get a birthday shout out from me, you have to go into Drag Insights so I know when your birthday is. Don Kennedy Race Car Insurance. Don Kennedy is here right now. So if you have any questions for Don about race car insurance, he can get you set up. His number is 602-284-6240, or you can email him at 1donkennedy@gmail.com. You can also find him on Facebook, too. He's always posting nice pictures. I saw him post a nice video of his super stock car going down the track. Nice straight run. Nice launch there, Don. Nice landing. I like it. I guess PMR, Phil Mandela, is always helping Don out, and it shows, man. Gets good results. Don should switch to a stick shift, though, pretty soon. And he should call Rob Youngblood at advancedclutches.com to do so. So advancedclutches.com. Every time I hear the intro of this show every Tuesday, you hear my car dumping the clutch at, a very high RPM, and it makes me miss that car. So advancedclutches.com is going on the car this year, and can't wait to try it out. Engine's going in the car very soon, if not as we speak. Maybe Bob Sr. already started working on it before I get back there. Who knows? I would love that. I'd love that if I go to Pennsylvania this weekend and see it's already in the car. You would see lots of pictures on Facebook. PontiacEngines.com. I don't have a Pontiac. I have a Ford, but Bruce Fulper has Pontiacs and loves Pontiacs. And he notably 428 Pontiacs. I think he's selling a car too, by the way, if you want a nice Pontiac. Find Bruce Fulper on Facebook or go on the Stock and Super Stock Classifieds. He's got it on there. Thanks, Bruce Fulper, for all your support. RocketmanCoatings.com. Get your drivetrain parts and pieces coated, transmission, gears, anything you want in there can be coated by their proprietary blend. And, of course, engine parts as well. Bearings and lifters and pistons and rings and you name it. Rocketman can do it. RocketmanCoatings.com. Less friction equals more horsepower. Get your taxes done. RP Minnick. That's Ray Minnick and Chip Minnick. They run Stock Eliminator. RPM at rpminnick.com. Or you can call them up, 267-247-7601. And it's always nice to know taxes to go with the racing. And Ray knows that, obviously, because he's a racer. That is hard to find, guys. Take advantage of that. And VP Racing Fuels, the best fuel you can get for drag racing, the most consistent fuels. If you want consistent, if you want fast, if you want something that dials, if you want something that follows the weather, VP's got everything for you. They also have oil too, and they pay contingency for both. So VP Racing Fuels, I appreciate their support as well. Did you guys see the last VP Viewpoint video I put up? It was Jason Line in car in the Hemi fish stick, and you had to pause it at the end to see what ET in mile per hour he ran. So check that out. All right, a couple more people chiming in. Let's see. Terry Nolan, what's going on, Terry? How you doing, buddy? Don Kennedy's testing a little bit more. Neil Hobbs. Foley thinks he is staging, so it could be a while. That's pretty funny. Phil Mandela is the best. Yeah, he's very good. Very good for sure. Nice guy, too. I like talking to him. It's always fun. Hey, Bobby, how are you? I'm doing good. Gary Jacobson, how are you doing? Hit that like button, everyone. Thank you, Walt. Sometimes I forget to say it, and Walt's got to remind me. That's why Walt's the best. He helps me remember all kinds of stuff that I can't. I was just thinking of something today that I had to ask him. Maybe it'll come to me, Walt, during this show tonight. All right. Let's see. We got some birthdays in the house. Let's see. This is the Drag Insights homepage birthdays. We got Bo Winslow was June 18th. Jeremy Duncan, Mitch Kite. It is Mitch Kite. It's not Mitch Knight to all the announcers and racers out there that think this is misspelled. It's Mitch Kite, Kight. And Ryan, I'm going to say Baudoin, something like that. Baudoin. June 19th, all three of them. So Jeremy Duncan, Mitch Kite, and Ryan Baldwin, something like that. June 19th, happy birthday. That's the day I was supposed to be born, but I was 10 days late. Greg Schenk is June 20th. Happy birthday, Greg. Who else? Chad Langdon, June 21st. How about that, Chad Langdon? He's a stock eliminator racer out on the West Coast. Neil Pressimone, June 22nd. Happy birthday, Neil. We got Keith Wells, June 23rd. Happy birthday, Keith. And we got Bill King today, June 24th. Happy birthday, Bill. Those are all Drag Insights members, and that's how I know it was their birthday, because it shows up on the calendar when I log in. All right, let's see. We got results for Virginia Nationals and the Norwalk D3 double this past weekend, and then upcoming, we got the Norwalk Nationals coming up starting on Thursday. Schedule looks pretty normal. You're starting at 8:30 every day, guys. 2 qualifying sessions, I believe, in stock and super stock on Thursday. You got first round on Friday, and 3 rounds on Saturday. You do have a late round on Saturday evening, just one though. They're not 3 of them back to back, which is nice. And then the normal semifinal and final on Sunday. So looking forward to that. 84 to 86 degrees each day in Norwalk. 30% chance of rain on Saturday, 40% chance on Sunday. So don't be surprised if maybe they do try to smash all the finals in on Saturday. I hope not, though. 40% isn't that bad. So good luck. Good luck, anybody that's going to Norwalk or stayed in Norwalk for the week. All right, let's get to some results here, and then we'll get Steve Foley to come in. We'll start with Virginia because that was the national event. Number 1 qualifier in stock eliminator was Jeff Longany, B stock automatic. He, I think, waited to that last session there in his 2000 Corvette to oust Lauren Kanuick out of the number 1 spot. He qualified with a 10:17 on the 11:25 index. He was 1:07.5 under the index. Congratulations, Jeff Longany. Final round was our guest tonight, Steve Foley, in the 2023 Camaro owned by Darren Poole Adams. That's factory stock D. And he went up against Greg Rowe, who I haven't seen drive this car, but I don't know how long he's had it. D stock automatic, 1997 Trans Am. Greg was killing the tree in qualifying and eliminations too. But in this final round here, he dialed an 11 flat and he was 0.56 red. In that final round, Steve Foley came ready to play. Steve dialed 993 and he was 004 green in that final round. I think he legged it out at a 990 with a 133 miles an hour. He might have been fist pumping the whole way down the track because that was his first national event win. I was unaware that Steve Foley did not have a national event win. First win. Congratulations. That is awesome. Way to go, Steve. Let's see. Who'd Steve? He had to take out Wareheim first round. Ron Urquhart. Oh, he took out the barbecue host. That wasn't very nice. Bubba Linky, he took out in the 3rd round. Jim Roberts, 4th round. Troy Huntsberry, 5th round semifinal. And then Greg Rowe in the 6th round. So Foley, man, 0-12 in the 2nd round. 16 red against Bubba Linky. Bubba went red first. 16 green in the next round. 16 green again in the next round. He was really on the tree there. And then 004 in the final round. So Steve Foley was he was really impressing the boss this weekend because I did see Darren Poole Adams there hanging out on Saturday. So way to go, Steve Foley. We'll talk to him in a minute. Superstock, number 1 qualifier was Troy Huntsberry. Superstock I automatic. That's an 87 Camaro. He qualified with a 961 on a 1070. 109 under the index. Congrats, Troy Huntsberry. And the final round saw 2 Division I killers. Brian Warner, GTJ automatic. That's a 90 Camaro versus Joe Santangelo, GTG automatic. That's an 87 Camaro. And Double O Joe lives up to his name. He's 007. Runs a 972 on a 974. Warner dialed 996. He was 022 on the tree. Very good light. He ran a 993 on the 996. And by virtue of the double breakout rules, Joe Santangelo gets the win. That's his 24th national event win. That was a heck of a race there. How about that semifinal race, though, between Brian Warner and Pat Glade? Warner was 005 and left second. Pat Glade was 000. And I believe, I don't know if he just couldn't run the number or gave it back down there at the finish line, but it was a great race there in that semifinal round. Congrats, Brian Warner, on your runner-up. Congrats, Pat Glade, on that semifinal showing there. That was amazing, and he went for it, man. 000. Gotta love it. Let's see. Where are we going now? Oh, let's go to Norwalk. Okay, so Norwalk sounded like it was miserable. Virginia was hot and nasty. It got there on Thursday, and it poured on Thursday night, but then after that, it didn't really rain anymore. But Norwalk had rain and delays, and this is a double, and this is a Norwalk double. This isn't a double where there's 32 stockers and 19 super stockers. This is a double where there were like 109 stockers showed up for Q1. All right, so this is like, you can't afford any raindrops at this juncture when you're in Norwalk on a double weekend. But that's why they start these things on Wednesday or whatever, and leave Sunday for the rain date. However, Norwalk being Norwalk, and I think Bo Butner may have had something to do with this, but they gave free ice cream to the racers to, I guess, cheer them up because of the rain delay. So because of the rain delay, racers got some free ice cream. That's Bill Bader at his finest. I do think that I read somewhere that Bo Butner had something to do with that. So that's really cool. Number one qualifier in race one was Paul Carr, factory stock F, 2015 Camaro, 1020 on 1120. So he was a second under. Final round was Brina Splinger. I don't know why I always have trouble saying her last name. Like, her last name makes me read letters like backwards. Splinger. I always put an L after the G for some reason. 2022 Camaro, factory stock B, 006 in the final round. Woo! Going up against Steven Zorni. This kid is awesome in this K-Stock automatic truck, Dodge Dakota. 2002 Dodge Dakota, orange. He goes rounds in this thing. So he dials 1197. He's 039 on the tree, breaks out by 2. 1195 on the 97, 104 miles an hour. Brina was 921 on a 920 after the 006 light. So Steven was kind of out of luck there. And Brina got her 6th divisional event win. Congratulations, Brina. She drove very well all day. Let's see. I think she had a heads up in round 4 also. Let's see. William Belanger was number one qualifier in Superstock. That's an I automatic 96 Firebird, 969 on a 1070. So he was a little bit more than a second under. Congratulations. And Peter Diagnolo, the former world champion, 1967 Camaro Superstock C modified. He's 002 in the final round, going up against Fred Bartoli. That's the owner of Altronics, weather stations, and race data. So Superstock I automatic 98 Firehawk for Fred Bartoli. Hey, Fred was 026 on the tree, dialed a 998, ran a 997, but there wasn't much he could do there when Pete was 002. It was a double breakout, by the way. Pete ran a 924 on a 925, and by virtue of 0.02 of a second, Pete got the double breakout win. How about it? That's Pete's 5th divisional event win. Congratulations, Pete. And then race 2, we've got Mike Delahanty in the 64 Belvedere. Love that car. A-stock automatic, 10047 on an 11 flat. So he was 95 under, getting the number 1 spot. And Mike Walter in the 87 Camaro G-stock automatic got the win over Caleb McFarland in the A-stick 99 Firebird. Caleb was 158 on the tree. That'll do it. And Mike Walter was 72 on the tree and had a ton of room down there. He ran an 1124.5 on an 1125. He broke out by 5 thou, but Caleb broke out by 400ths, giving the win to Mike Walter. That's his 15th divisional event win. Congratulations, Mike. And in Superstock, Dan Starko, factory Superstock C, was the number 1 qualifier. That's a 2016 Copo, 864 on a 965. He was 101 under the index. And how about Larry Eagle in the GTE stick shift 1991 Olds Calais, getting the win over Peter Diagnolo, who made it to another final round, 2 finals in one weekend here. Pete in the Superstock C modified car, he wasn't 00 in this final round. He was 053 this time, and he ran a 925 on a 928, breaking out. While Larry Eagle was 041 on the tree, had a slight advantage there, and he ran a 938 on a 941. Double breakout again by 4 thousandths of a second went to Larry Eagle. Congratulations. That's Larry Eagle's first divisional event win. All right. And then we got an announcement here. Gaff Solutions. That's Sean and Kevin Gaffney. Being generous again, man. Being generous twice this year and lots of generosity. All right. Listen to this. They're going to have a AA stick shootout at Indy like they always do. And they're going to have a AA stick shootout at the Dutch Classic this year at Maple Grove Raceway in October. There you go. How's that? So, all the rules remain the same. This is according to ClassRacer.com. They have the same rules that they had last year for Indy. Winner gets $5,000. Runner-up gets $1,000. Semis gets $500. Quarterfinalist gets $250. I don't think you even have to put up money for this. I believe this is just coming out of Gaff Tech Solutions pockets right now. This is amazing. This is super generous of them. If you do have any questions, they said feel free to call and or text. This is Kevin Gaffney that posted this, 613-229-9582. And I guess he can answer all your questions. How about this? You also get $500 for fastest mile per hour and $500 for quickest ET. All right, so they're putting up some significant money here. So I do not race AA stick. I do in a dream of mine. And to race for this kind of money is awesome. So thank you, Gaff Tech Solutions, for doing that. All right, guys. Let's see. I'll bring in Steve Foley, Axel Foley, in a second here. I just wanted to see what maybe I'll try and go over the points after we're done talking to Steve. So we don't want to keep him waiting anymore. Let's see if we can bring Steve in. We're going to hit the button here. Hi, Steve Foley. Are you there?
What's going on, Bobby? How you doing?
All right. I'm doing good, man. Thanks for coming on tonight. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on your national event win there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I see you got a Wildcats shirt on there. I'm guessing that's not the Villanova Wildcats. That must be the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, born and bleed blue all the way.
Blue and white, and we're both Wildcats.
That's it. That's it. Born and raised in Kentucky, and a full Wildcat all my life. So.
What town or city in Kentucky were you originally from?
Barberville, actually.
Is that near Lexington or?
No, it's a small town in southeast Kentucky, London, Corbin area, 15 miles from first ever KFC. So
nice.
Actually, Scotty Richardson was my neighbor. He lived straight across the road from me.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
that probably paid some huge dividends. Did he?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I drove for Scotty for a while, so when I bracket raced quite a bit. So,
what was your home track down there?
When I first started racing, the closest track to us was actually Knoxville Dragway in Tennessee. And then they built a new track, London Dragway, which is about 45 minutes from where I live. So that was my home track.
Ah, that sounds great. All right. Now I'm assuming you've been to the the Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky, a couple times in your life.
Absolutely, we go about every year, at least once a year. So, my little boy, he's Langdon. He's a Wildcat fan too. So,
all right, Langdon is the. You have two sons.
Yeah, Langdon and Lincoln. Langdon's
that's
oldest
right.
He
Langdon, there he is. What's up, Langdon? How you do? Look how big that kid's getting. My goodness. I like them sunglasses. He's got some aviators already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're already too small. And I bought them not even like a year ago, like 2 months.
Well, your dad just won the national. He can buy you a couple more pairs. He's good to go.
Right. That's right.
All right, Steve, we got some comments flying in here. And Steve, Virginia, dude, it was pretty hot.
Very hot. Very hot.
I feel bad. Like I never even got I saw you a couple times, like riding on my bike,
Yeah,
waving.
yeah, yeah. I saw you in the lanes there once. I think Q1 or 2 or whenever it was, or maybe round 1. I don't even remember it. But Friday was busy. We had a lot going on Friday. So
It was. I really wish we
um,
had more cars on Friday because
I
I was
know,
trying to
I
get.
know.
I was
And
trying to get.
my wife was running top dragster too. So when we get back, we was getting her ready, and
Yeah.
so we stay busy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, as far as the Copo that you were driving, that's the one that you've been driving for the last 2 years nonstop.
Yeah, yes, sir. Last couple years, same one I've been driving.
And you finished 8th last year in the world in stock eliminator.
That's right. Finished 8th last year in stock eliminator, and finished 6th in the world the year before.
Right. So perennial top 10 finisher here. We like it. And I guess that's why Darren Poole Adams is going to keep you in the car, man. Hopefully he gets you out of that Camaro and puts you in a Toyota that you have to figure out.
Yeah. I tell you, if he got it as good as this Copo, we talked. He said he can make it work. So we'll see.
I don't doubt him. That guy doesn't do
Oh yeah,
anything half-ass,
yeah, yeah. They was just like, they actually teched us a little bit. The last couple of races I've been to. So I went through tech after Q1, and they were checking some things, and one of the officials there, he commented about Darren. He said, "Man, Darren does everything right as far as tech wise and stuff." I said, "Yeah, it's going to pass anywhere it goes." Um, so big kudos to him.
Yeah, right. And I mean, I don't think he would want to suffer the negativity or anything if it didn't. So I think he's going
Yeah,
to pay
yeah,
extra attention to
yeah,
that.
yeah. He's going to pass. Yeah, absolutely.
What is everyone's opinion of the best super stock or stock run of all time as of now? Well, I don't know. Do you have an opinion on what is the best stock or super stock run of all time?
Hard to
Yeah, I don't
say.
know.
Yeah, so I don't have an opinion on that one.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best races. I've seen a lot of good races there, and you had a nice easy day on Sunday, right?
Yeah, my buddy Rodney Fincham, he had texted me there Sunday morning. He said, "Just act like I'm in the other lane. You can't lose." I said, "Well, at that point, all I need to do is just try to get it staged, right?" And he said, "Yeah, just stage it, and you can't lose." And I said, "All right." So kind of what happened.
That's great advice, right? Joe Eustace, the Foley and Warren families, good folks. Stock final at VMP were both CCRA racers, Foley and Rowe. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool, man.
yeah. Rowe had actually been driving. He's had that car. He's been driving that car for a while, for
Has he?
several
All
years.
right.
Yeah, for several years.
He was driving very well. I mean, I was since I was sidelined for Q2 and Q3, I was just watching everything, and I was like, man, this guy's really crushing the tree here. So
Yeah, I talked to him after the buy run he made, and he said he pushed through the lights there when he was 30 red, I think, on his buy run. I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I just stopped there at the scales and congratulated him on his final. And he said he wanted me to get my first national win. He just didn't want it to be against him, you know. But
right.
I don't know if the car had pushed through again or what. So, but yeah, he's a great driver, great guy.
Yeah, and you were driving really well yourself, Steve. I mean, that consistent string of lights you put up there was, I mean, that was some good stuff. So,
Thank you. I'd actually made a change back at South of Georgia, and and was able to be consistent and fairly tight on the tree there, and it just carried over in Virginia. I know Virginia's always a little loose, so I went in setting up really tight, and I was 004 red and didn't change anything, and then I was 007 red, so I made an adjustment, trying to be 20, and I was 29, and then first round. I stayed around the 29-30 spot, and just let it get by me a tick. And I was 50. I didn't call it 50. I thought I was 40 or so, and got by that one, and then came back the next day and was really on it. The only run I kind of threw out was Bubba's run. When I ran him, I was really on the bottom bulb, and the way the spot was, the tree was blocked by the blinders, on the tree.
Right.
but the red light wasn't blocked. So I was right on the bulb, and I caught his red about the time mine was coming on. So I knew I was early. I didn't even know what I was. I knew I was early. I said, "Man, you're probably 30 red or something, And I got it at 16. So I just kind of threw that run out. I went right back and was able to hit my good team spot. Then, like I said, in the finals there, when I hit it, I knew I was a little early than my 16, 20 spot. I'm like, oh, that's red. And I actually looked at the red and it didn't come on and it fell green. And I'm like, oh man, that's perfect. I called it perfect. I said, that's good. So I shifted, and I looked up and saw my wind light, and I'm like, man, was he red? So I had to do a double take, to make sure it was on. So yeah, I got a fist pump or two.
That's how focused you were. It's very hard to see those scoreboard. Yo, Virginia Motorsports Park, please invest in the scoreboards that Maple Grove has. Every track in the country, just get the scoreboards that Maple Grove has. Call them up and get them. You can see them from every angle, near and far, and
I will give VMP credit. As hot as it was, the track was really good. If it started going away, man, they stopped, worked on the track, and it was really good for me.
Yeah, I hooked fine. I saw I would say 90% were hooking fine.
Yeah,
I did see a couple spins here and there, but I don't know how they do it.
Especially as hot as it got.
Oh my goodness!
I was kudos to them, the NHRA staff.
I wasn't there on Sunday. Was it as hot as they said it was going to be on Sunday?
Absolutely. Yeah, when I got up and looked at the weather, like at 9 o'clock, it was as worse as it'd been all weekend. And I was, it was miserably hot. Yeah,
it was like that last year too. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was like that last year. So
Bruce Fulper and Walt Walker are both saying Bobby DeArmond's first run in the nines, that 4 days in May documentary, has that. I think it was at Mission, British Columbia. So it was a 69 Camaro, and that's the first run in the nines. So all right, I'll take that as the best run of all time. We'll take it. So all right, thanks, Bruce and Walt. So Steve, I know you're married to Brooke Warren, so you're in with the Warren family. You're in with Darren Poole Adams. I mean, how did all this happen? You're from Kentucky, and they are all North Carolina based. So tell us how you struck gold and fell upward.
Yeah, I definitely struck gold with Brooke. There's no doubt about that. So, but yeah, I bracket raced my whole life. My mom and dad, that's all they did. That's all I grew up doing. I always kind of wanted to do the stock, super stock, just didn't have the funds to do it. So basically, growing up, I played sports and drag raced. So my dad owned a used car dealership, car lot body shop. So he was always buying and fixing and selling things. So Adam Davis actually had a Nova, Stalker Nova for sale. Ran maybe 4 or 5 under the index, 4 or 5 tenths under the index. Not going to set the world on fire, but it was a good car, beautiful car. We could run stock a little bit. I told Dad, I said, why don't we just buy it? And maybe we'll run stock for 6 months or a year. We'll put for sale on it. When it sells, we'll sell it and move on. So he said, all right. So we bought it, and we went, our first race, we went to South Georgia at a divisional. And I think I got down to like 5 cars. I actually ran Mickey Whaley. And I knocked the tires off of it. And at the hit, knocked tires off of it. We come back, tires were gone. So Dad's like, we got to get new set tires on this. We put a new set on, and a buddy of mine actually had bought a motorhome down in South Florida. And that was my first grade point, so I wasn't getting in the Gators. So I went on to South Florida to pick up that motorhome for him. And while I was down there, a spot came open in the Gators. So I grabbed it. So I went to the Gator Nationals, and I actually ran Darren at that race, probably 3rd or 4th round. And I beat him, but he knocked the tires off. But I didn't know him, didn't talk to him much, just good luck. But him and my dad talked quite a bit. And my dad was telling about him, about the copos and all this, after we ran. Didn't think anything else about it. Ended up getting beat in the semis there. So
what year is this approximately, Steve?
this was probably 14.
Yeah. Okay.
2014, in the fall or in the spring. So then my next race is Charlotte. So I go to Charlotte, and I've already made a run, and I'm just kind of looking over there at the pros, and I see this beautiful dark-haired female heading to the lanes, driving a dragster, and I'm like, I gotta find out who that is because she's really, really pretty, you know. So I kind of eased up, and we started talking a little bit. And then I found out who her dad was and who her grandpa was. And I'm like, man, I'm used to going to the bracket races and sleeping in tents. We got an open trailer, a truck. You get there, you pitch a tent. That's how we roll. And they got a toter home over here. I'm like, man, if I get in there, I want to have me a toter home. So I always tell them I married Brooke for Jeff and Bobby in the shop and everybody. But yeah, we kind of hit it off a little bit. We got in the stands, we were talking, and I could tell she's a little nervous, and she had this little napkin, and she dropped it, and she bent over to get it, and she hit her head on the back of the bleacher. I mean, the whole thing just rattled all the way down through there. And it knocked enough sense out of her to marry me, is what I always say too. But yeah, I ran a couple more races in that car and sold it and got an engagement ring and got it to Brooke, and then we got married. I moved over here, and when I got over here, Jeff had actually started driving for Darren a little bit. He was driving he started out driving the 2015, the B stock A, B, C stock automatic combo, Camaro. And then he went on to the 396, like the FSD 396 Copo. But he was driving for Darren, and I was still bracket racing. Bobby had the yellow Firebird, and he was still racing at the time. But he's a world champ; he'd get in anytime he wanted to,
Right.
So I didn't want to enter because I had to enter early to get a spot. But I knew if I entered, it'd keep Bobby from maybe entering, and I didn't want to keep him from racing, So I just told Jeff, said, man, I'm gonna bracket race. That's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna continue to do that. So that's what I did. I continued to bracket race over here. They would go to the NHRA race. I go to bracket race by myself. We did that for about a year, and we had a little family meeting over the winter. I told Jeff, I said, man, I love racing, but man, it ain't the same if you ain't got family with you,
Yeah.
And he said, yeah. He said, either we're gonna have to go bracket racing, or you're gonna have to run some stock or super stock or something, And I said, well, I always want to run it. Why don't we just do that? Because the business is geared more towards stock and super stock, And so he said, all right, let's do it. So I drove the Yalla car for about a year, half a year. Then we sold it to Steve Zupka,
Right.
Um, and then I got into Mark Beaver's car for about a year, and I drove it for about a year. And then Darren approached me. He was buying a new 572. He was going to have an extra Copo, and he approached me, wanting to know if I'd be interested in driving. I was like, absolutely. So I drove it for about a year, and ended up getting in this the one I'm in now, which is phenomenal. That car is really good. And
what's the
it is
engine
really good.
combination? Tell us a little bit about this
It's
car that you
a
drive.
376 combo. There's not many people has it, I don't think, right now. It's I think Justin Lamb runs it. Jeff Strickland's got it now. Jeffrey Bragg runs one, and me. But it's just it's a good combo. It's really consistent, and you can make it fast some too.
What's the what are they advertised and rated at currently?
I think it's 415. I think is what it is. Yeah, I think it's 415. There's a port injected and a direct injection combo as well. So we're running the port.
Okay. And you run factory stock D with it, right?
Yeah, you can run C, D, or E. I run D mostly. Yeah.
What's the minimum weight when you run D?
It's 3280.
3280. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's that index? Factory stock D.
1060.
What's the fastest you've gone with the car?
We've been in some 50s with it. Down in Orlando when it was really, really good air, we could have went really fast, obviously. You know.
Have you had to go fast with it? I mean, do you ever get a heads up?
We had a heads up at Charlotte National in the semifinals with Stevie Johns and Victor Cagnazzi's black 396 car.
Mm.
And we both went, I think I went like a 57, he went at 55, or I went at 55, he went at 54. Had him like 100th on the tree. It was double low margin victory.
Wow. Yes.
Whatever it was, the semi. It was just an amazing, heads up run. And then I ended up running Jeff Strickland in the finals, and that's when I left, I had him a couple on the tree, and I hit second. And when I hit second, the spring in the shifter had got weak, and it had actually pulled itself into high. So I went second, and then it pulled itself into high. So I went from low to high.
Right.
And just it's just every time I get to the semis or finals at a national, something like that happens. Something like that happens. I'm just over here looking. It's like you got.
Can never happen during qualifying,
Yeah, that's right. So, but this weekend it all worked out good. So.
Yeah, man, it's first national. What'd that feel like? Were you? I mean, elated? Were you fist pumping? I remember I just fist pumping.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you win, I don't care if it's a national, divisional, or a trophy meet out here. I mean, when you win, you're excited, you're pumped up. But man, I've been fortunate to win a lot of stuff in my career. I've been blessed, and that was one trophy that eluded me, to get. So to be able to get it, man, it felt really good. It felt really good, but it makes you hungry,
Right.
Makes you want to go get another one,
Of course, yeah. Now, what was that? Your third national event final?
Third national event final. Yeah.
So the previous was against Jeff Strickland with the broken shifter spring.
Yeah.
What was the one before that?
It was the Barry Parker. I ran Barry Parker in the finals at Charlotte, and it was about 11 o'clock at night, 11:30, and the track just was going away. And when I hit it, it shook really hard, and I lost like 5 in the 60 foot and couldn't get there.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
All right. So, back on the car, as far as the hardware that's on there, what kind of transmission, rear, like some
we
more specs?
We run a Cohen transmission, just 350. The 9-inch rear. So just basically what comes in the co-post. Yeah, nothing special. Nothing special. I told Darren, I said, look, I just want to win races. I'm here to win races. Give me something that's consistent, and that's what he did, and that's what we're doing.
And you and Darian, I guess, are somewhat purists. I mean, you don't use a two-step on the starting line.
No, I've foot braked my whole life. I mean, I've did some trans brake stuff, but I mean, I'm more comfortable foot braking, two-stepping. Once you're committed, once you jerk that foot off the brake, you are what you are. Foot braking, if I know I'm early, I can kind of slow myself down a little bit or try to hang on the brake a little longer, try to get that thing to fall green,
Yeah.
So I'm just really comfortable foot braking. I'd rather foot brake than, do anything.
And you,
as far as bottom bulbing.
You switch gears, no E-shifts, nothing.
I actually don't think copos are allowed to have anything like that. I think the copos and stuff, you actually have to shift them. You might have to check me. You might have to check the rule book on that. But
yeah, I don't know.
But I think the copos, all the factory cars or something, I think you have to shift them. So I shift this one. We don't do nothing like that. Obviously, if it was allowed, I would do it. But
it's going to be allowed next year. But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, next year. I mean, here's the way I look at it. If you get a tool like that can be more consistent, I mean, why not?
Why wouldn't you?
A tool like that. I mean, I'm human. I'd rather have something like that than messing up.
Walt.
It's going to when it gets to that shift, it's going to shift every time. You know.
Right. Yeah.
There's been times when I've short shifted, and I'll be like, oh, that was early, you know, or you know, but you know, that's
That's
just
why I don't like that in stock eliminator. That's why I don't. That's why. That's the way it should be in stock eliminator. We should all have the same opportunity to screw up, is my opinion on stock eliminator.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. I think you should have to shift everything. But if they're going to let it, I mean, you got to take advantage of what rules they give you. In my opinion,
Sure.
you know.
Oh, I know it.
I mean, and it gives you. I mean, for example, when I bracket race, all my stuff shifts by itself too. You know, but I also shifted a little early to where if it spun or something, man, I would hold that shifter and pick me up 300 or 400. You know.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, instead of being 5 or 6 above, man, I'm back to run dead on again. You know.
Right. You get
So
some more options when you're shifting yourself. Yeah.
So
What do you do
everything has its
for
advantages, disadvantages.
do you so now that you're in North Carolina, I mean, do you work at the engine shop with the Warrens, or do you have another
I
job?
mess around there a little bit, but I do have a full-time job. I work. I'm a personal banker at First Bank here.
Oh, okay.
In town. Yeah. So I've been doing that for a while. I kind of got in between jobs there a little bit, and I was a CFO at a rehab facility, but ended up going back to the banks. Just a lot more flexibility for my racing. So
It's what we do is tough. It requires a lot of time, dedication, and
that's
time
right.
off. You know?
I'm always open to options. So
Yeah. Oh, that's good. A banker. All right.
yeah.
Let's see. Let's see what we can get out of you.
Yeah, that's right.
Where's the safe?
That's right.
Alcar, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Walt says Kupos allow everything.
You'll have to check the rule on me on that. I think I'm 90% sure copos and all that, you have to shift them. You can't have anything to shift for you, you know. You can't have like a 1-2, then you put it in high. Pretty sure you know, the rule state that you got to shift it. But I could be wrong too. But maybe we can get somebody on that to clarify.
Right? Yeah, we'll have to check the rule book. Thank you, Al. Appreciate that. So, Steve, I mean, Bobby Warren, I think he just had a birthday recently, right? Like
He did
92.
June the 10th. He turned 91, and he's in the shop every day.
Yeah, every day, huh?
Every day. He's got a little rocking chair. He's got back there by the door, and he'll sit in at 10 or 15 minutes. He's back up and going again, you know. And but yeah, he's in there every day. I see him every now and then. He come in late one Saturday. Well, it was like 9 or 9:30, you know. And I told him, I said, you ain't got too much PTO time left. You're gonna have to get here early. I said half a day's already gone, you know. I gave him a hard time, but me and him, man, we get along good.
Yeah. What a legend, man, that you get to call your, I guess, like grandfather-in-law.
That's right. We call him Papa. Even I call him Papa, you know. And I mean, he's the great grandfather of my 2 kids here, you know. So
yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of history right there.
Yeah. Now your boy Langdon, did you name him after a racer or?
Well, actually, what had happened was when me and Brooke was, I don't know if we were married or engaged, but me and Sean Langdon's always been good buddies, and his dad Chad, you know, and I said something about Langdon and you know, Sean, and she said, man, I like that name. I like Langdon. I said, you gonna have a boy? You gonna name it Langdon? And she said, I think I will. And but she didn't know at the time that my grandfather's first name's Langdon. So well, he's Charles Langdon, so I guess it'd be his middle name. So she said, no, I want him to have his own name, but I like Langdon. So I would say it's safe to say that Langdon first came about from Sean Langdon, and then she found out that Langdon was actually in my family. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you see the unfortunate thing that just happened to Sean Langdon there in Virginia?
Yeah, sure did. Sure did.
I mean, he won Top Fuel, and then it sounds like they were investigating the run for all day or last 2 days, and then they decided it's disqualified.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the rules on that, but I mean, and those things. I mean, those things are so violent. I mean, you can probably. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know nothing about them, but I say if you 50% of them probably ain't got 12 bolts. You know, time they make a run. You know.
All
Well,
right.
I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know.
I gotta use the red Loctite.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
Oh man, so that's unfortunate, but I guess that's the
Yeah.
rules, you know.
Yeah, the rules are rules. You gotta play by them. So, but Justin got the win, and Justin, man, me and Justin go back too. We go back a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually. Quick story on him. I never will forget it. I used to drive for a guy named Barry Brown, bracket racing quite a bit, and he had a top dragster at the time, and I was just bracket racing. He had a top dragster at the time, and Justin was getting into it, so he had kind of leased this top dragster off of Barry, and everybody's at Charlotte racing, and and Barry come up to me and asked me if I would help Justin, and I said yeah. So I was over there helping Justin, and his dad Mike was there, so. Um, I was over there helping him. We get him in the car and get his belts on, and we'd set his box up, and he was running top D. I
Wow.
just down him practice on staging, try to as soon as you see that top bulb, let go, and the car was really good. So I think first round he ended up drawing like Steve Furr or somebody, world champion.
All right.
So he ain't got a shot to win. I mean, it's his first race ever. He ain't got a shot to win. So my mother-in-law Denise, she's got to eat at like 5 o'clock. If it's any later than that, she can't eat. And it's about 5 o'clock. So we told her, I said, we'll be right back. This ain't gonna take but a minute. So me and Jeff roll up to the lanes, and we set Justin up pretty tight on the tree and dialed him in. And when the car moved, I looked at Jeff, I said, man, he's 00. And he went down and beat Fur.
Wow.
And when he beat Fur, I was kind of just sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, we just took out the king right here. Well, Mike Ashley was pumped up. He turned around and he threw a fist, and it caught me right in the mouth.
Oh man.
That knocked me out, but he was pumped up. So we go back, and they're saying, turn it around. We're gonna finish it tonight. We're gonna get down to the finals tonight. So we get back to the pit. He's got like Jeff Strickland the next round. He goes out and he beats Strick.
Oh my God.
So now, before we know it, he's in the semis, and he ends up getting beat in the semis. But we get back to the toter home, and it's like 11:30 at night. We was coming right back at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Poor Denise starved to death. She's throwing stuff out of the toter home. She said, "I ain't even eating. You can have it." And then ever since that, me and Justin's always had a good relationship. So.
Oh
Yeah,
man, that's nice.
Yeah, some good stuff there.
You hit a swollen jaw.
Yeah. Mike caught me right in the lips, and I never will forget it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, your wife races as well, like you said. She runs top dragster.
Runs top D.
Does she ever run any stock and super stock?
She did a little bit. She's not a bottom bumper. Yeah, she can hit it a couple times, but she just don't enjoy it. She likes her dragster.
Yeah.
Yeah, she likes
Top
her
bulb
dragster.
dragster. What's the Warren family think of that? I mean, is that that sounds like
Well, I
blasphemy.
think Bobby said it's Antichrist or something at one point in time. He was not happy about it, but she gets out there and she started winning, a little bit. He's very fun. He's very happy for her. I know I know what Bobby thinks about, his wife. I never did get to meet her. She passed away before I got in the family, but I hear him talk about her a lot.
Yeah.
And what she meant to him. So when I won my first divisional, Brooke won top D the same weekend. So we shared the winner circle,
Wow.
And he called me and he said, that's one thing I never did get to do with my wife. He said, you better enjoy it, so.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And it was actually at VMP.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Said go to bed.
I mean, that's just funny that you say that, because I know I was talking to Jeff at the barbecue this weekend, and I asked him, I said, when did, Mom, or when did Bobby's wife pass away? And he said it was, it was like 20 years ago or so.
Yeah.
And I mean, It's got to be hard. So Bobby will say, well, he was 71-ish when that happened. You know, once your life partner passes away like that, it's very difficult for an elderly person to keep to stick around a long time. You know, I've seen it happen a lot where, you know, when one passes, the other one isn't far behind.
Yeah,
And for him to still be around 20 years later, I mean, the only way that that's possible is like strong family and strong like will to keep going and doing things. So him being at the shop, like you're saying, every day.
Oh yeah, that keeps him going. Him working every day keeps him going. Ain't doubt about that in my mind, you know.
And Jeff says he's still. I mean, he's doing stuff. He's not just.
Oh yeah, he's not just sitting there
Yeah.
like he's carrying heads around and everything. You know, he'll carry one head, then say, "Foley, get that other head and bring it over. Stand it up over here," you know, or whatever.
Yep.
And I'll grab it, you know. But yeah, he ain't. It's not like he's just sitting there piddling around. You know, I mean, he's actually moving some parts.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Now, are you learning all the engine stuff? I mean, is that something that you might have to take on?
Yeah, that's
someday?
something, you know. Yeah, you know, I'm a driver. A buddy of mine it was funny. We was changing transmission in my dragster at a bracket race, and he had his hands up he's taking the converter bolts loose, and I was taking transmission up loose, and the dragsters have a little starter button on the side of the frame. Man, I was working that wrench to death, you know, that socket. And I hit the button and it turned the motor over.
Oh.
But he come out of there, he looked at me and he said, put the stuff down, put the tools down. I said, what are you talking about? He said, man, you just about cut my finger off. I said, I didn't hit the starter. He said, yeah, you did. And I said, well, man, I did. And he said, yeah. He said, go get you a bologna sandwich. He said, the only thing you allowed to have in your hands is food and a steering wheel. That's it. You know, so that's what I try to stick to. So
right, that's funny.
But yeah, I can do a little bit of stuff, but you know,
it's special talent that that they have. I'm telling you. You know, I watched we were 10 minutes into being in Virginia Motorsports Park on Thursday. It's 90 something degrees, and somebody parks right next to me. Division 1 racer, super gas racer, and he's out there fiddling with his generator. And the last thing you want when it's 95 degrees outside is your generator isn't running.
Absolutely.
He's messing with it. Him and his buddy, they they're not having any luck. And I was doing work inside the my motorhome, and my dad just, he always feels like he's got to help. And there he goes. He's out there. I'd say about a half an hour, 40 minutes later, he had that thing running for them. So, I mean, he just always figures stuff out. So
yeah,
that's amazing.
That's the way my dad is too, man. He's the same way.
So special. It's good. It's good to have too, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
So hopefully, I got to start picking. I've learned pretty much everything from them already. But it's always, I keep notes, like when I watch them do stuff or when I'm helping them do stuff. I try to type things in my phone, what torque setting to put this at. What depths, heights, anything that you can use someday if you're ever racing by yourself and you got to fix something. But
yeah, exactly.
I don't know that I want to race by myself. Like, I've gone to events by myself, and like you said, like, this isn't fun. So when he's too old to do it, I don't think I'm going to want to do it anyway. So
yeah, it's what really got me is I went to an event while I was over here. It's like a 10 grand to win foot brake race, and I won it, and they ain't nobody there to celebrate with, family wise,
Yeah.
Brooke, and we didn't have any kids time, but Brooke and Jeff and Denise, they were running NHRA somewhere, and I'm like, man, I just won 10 grand. It don't mean anything,
Oh, wow.
So then that's when I said, man, I need to change right here. So that's what I did. I went and racing with them and being able to see the smile on their faces and the excitement that I was able to create. Man, that's what it's about, just like I said, when I was fortunate enough to win the Jegs All-Stars this year. So I'll be representing D2. And so we get to go to Dallas this year. So, and my son Langdon is just pumped up, and you talk about putting some pressure on somebody, I'm needing to win 2 or 3 rounds at South Georgia to clinch it, and it's like second round, and I'm thinking, all right, I need one more round or two. And he comes up to me and he says, "Good luck, Dad. I really want to go to Texas." You kidding me? Come on. You know, but I mean, I'm having to lose second or third round. They got to win the race, but it's happened before, So, but I was fortunate enough to win it. So we're gonna get to go to Dallas, and we're gonna take the family, and they're gonna be able to have a good time.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, there you go, Walt. Walt and I always do a Jegs All-Star preview where we make all of our picks. So Steve Foley is going to be in the conversation this year.
Yep.
That's great that both the kids love the racing. Your wife loves the racing. The whole family loves the racing. So it's never a problem or anything like that.
It's never an issue. I mean, I'm very fortunate to marry who I married, and she's absolutely amazing. Like, all I got to do is just go to the race. Her and Denise always has the motorhome pack, the food. I mean, everything, and she races. The kids love it. I mean, it's just you you don't have to go to the race and come back and have to hear it from your wife or wanting to know why you're going. She understands why we do this, because she does it. So if she's wanting to say, hey, if there's a race going on, we all would rather go to the race than to the beach or somewhere else, So that's what we're going, that's what we're going to do.
That's
That's what we
great.
love.
And it's
Yeah,
great to be
so
able to come back from a run and say, like, I was, 0-13 and broke out by 5 thou. And your
yeah,
wife knows what you're talking about.
exactly,
She can
exactly,
commiserate with you. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, she's like I said, she does really well at Top D too. She won South Georgia, and I thought it was going to happen again. I run her up. I was thinking, man, we're gonna win again, together. But she was driving really good. I set her box up for her, and the car is really good. I mean, whatever it runs, it's going to run the rest of the day. So usually, whatever her light is what her package is.
Yeah.
So, and all she's got to do is go out there, do a burnout, do a routine, and drive what she feels. So, I was really happy. She'd had our youngest one and hadn't been back in her dragster because we keep selling her motors. So, yeah, so she finally got back in it. That was actually her first race. South Georgia was first weekend back in like 2 or 3 years of driving a dragster, and she put it right in the winner's circle.
Wow, that's great.
And then it's my fault this weekend. I set her up a little bit too tight. She won red dead one first round, but
Dang.
yeah, I have to take blame on that. But
That's a tough class, man. You got to be, I would say you got to be like 009 or better in that.
Yeah.
Walt says Steve's going to love the All-Star experience. You are. I mean, you get treated like royalty down there. You get a beautiful, like, paved pit parking spot, and your kids are going to love it because you're going to go out. You have to sign autographs one night on the town.
I went to.
Amazing.
I got to go when it was at Indy one year.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So but Indy has so much stuff going on. I think I'll have a better experience here because like you said, they kind of treat you a little better than they did at Indy.
Yeah, they have.
Indy has so much stuff going on.
Yeah, they have more time. I do think it needed to be off at Indy. It needed to either be back at Chicago or somewhere. And fortunately, it's here in Dallas. I think it'd be cool if it was like if it went a couple different places, but
that'd be cool. Yeah. Maybe pick one place at each division every year.
Yeah, like the bracket finals is like that. When I was, when we were bracket racing in D1. But I know that would be hard because the Jegs All Stars, like you have to accumulate the points leading up to it, and it has to end at a certain point. I don't even know when our Division 1 ends. It might end at Lebanon Valley, or it may have ended already. I'm not in it, so I don't care now. I was paying attention to it last year. Oh my goodness. But yeah. When is your next race? I guess you're not heading to the Norwalk National event this weekend, right?
I actually thought about it because when you get hot, you want to go as much as you can go. So after I won, I kind of looked into it a little bit, kind of looked at the weather, and I decided just to stick around home and check the car, check everything out. Make sure we're good to go for the next one. I don't know. I want to take a look at the schedule pretty heavily, and see what logistics wise we have around here. I got a couple more. I got a couple more claims in the national. Obviously, Dallas will be one of them. We still got a Charlotte fall race.
Right.
And then I'm
Will you go
definitely
to
going.
Indy or?
I'm sitting here. It was on my radar until I won this week, and I'm gonna look. Indy's always a tough time to get points, mainly because it's stretched over 5 days.
Yeah.
Versus 3. So at this point, we're just looking to go and win races and accumulate points. So, which I don't try to get caught up in points. I learned at a very young age when I was racing for track championships and stuff like that. Had a lot of people to help me throughout my racing career. Whenever I think I know it all, I'll quit. I'm still trying to learn. But they always tell me, "So man, go get that money, go get that trophy, and the points take care of itself." It's like, all right. It's like, go win the first round, take one round at a time, get the trophy, get the money, get whatever you're racing for, and then the points going to take care of themselves. So it's kind of what I look at, but it's still, you still got to be mindful of where you're going to go to try to get your best shot at winning as well. So I know I'll be at the double. I'll go back at VMP. VMP's been good to me. I got a lot of data there. It's close to home. It's actually our closest national, really. It's closer than Charlotte.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll have a double divisional there, which is I think the week after Indy. I think.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Indy ends September 1st, and Virginia September 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah. So I mean, it'd just be stupid hard to do Indy and VMP, and I got to do VMP.
Yeah.
You know, and
So do
then
I. I need those
yeah.
2 grade points.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then I don't know if Darlington's still on the schedule. I saw one schedule, it was off the schedule. I saw one, it was on.
Yeah, that's a good question. You have the
I don't
South
know.
Georgia Jegs Sports
Yeah,
National and Divisional. That's coming up in July
that's
also,
coming
right?
up the week after July 4th, I guess.
Are you gonna head to that or?
And I don't know. I'll look and probably make a decision when it gets closer to time. That's an option. We'll check the weather. It's just I drove really good at South Georgia. I've always drove good at South Georgia. You know, so I hate to miss it. But we'll see. We'll see. I want to take a good look at the schedule and kind of see what we got. Rockingham double division in the
Rockingham, which is the
fall.
same weekend as Cecil County, which is
Yeah,
the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
yeah, yeah. So, but it's in the fall, and if it gets cold or if it gets rain there, the track just isn't the best. So, but I won there last. I won there last. I won there last year. I won there in the fall.
Nice.
That's I've always drove pretty good there. So, and got some data there. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's still a track I've never been to.
Yeah, yeah.
Walt says,
They've done a lot of upgrades there. I know
I
they did.
I saw on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, the Jim Howard. I've raced with them bracket racing for a long time, and they know how to run a track. They're doing a really good job.
How far is Rockingham from you?
For me, it's about 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, roughly.
Walt's got a question here. Did the D2 All Stars end after the first race of the double? That seems
Yep.
odd.
Yeah, first race of the double it ended, and then the next year started the second race.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So used to see. I don't know how it's going to be this year because I don't know if Darlington's on the schedule or what, but we had 6 races in D2, and it was always the last 3 of the year and the first 3 of the next year, counted towards that current year.
Right, and I don't know if you can see this comment here, but Walt's reminding you that Dallas has a divisional the same week as that national.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Yep.
So you
Yeah.
might. It was like a.
That's why I said, there's a lot of options out there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sit down, and also we always have a family meeting. Jeff has to go. Jeff has to go to South Georgia. He's still in the Bristol race. So he's going to be going to South Georgia. So we always try to go together as a family, and like you said, do everything together as a family. So we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
I love the media. I went last year to the media. Really liked that track, but me and my wife has planned a trip to Hawaii this year for our 10th
Nice.
year. Yeah, for our 10th year anniversary. So it falls right around that when we're going to Hawaii. So
You guys been married 10 years already? Wow.
10 years already. Yep.
Way to go. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
My anniversary is in 2 days, actually. Don't let me forget.
Yeah, good deal.
Yeah. No trips to Hawaii, though. Not this year.
Yeah, not this year. Yeah.
Darian Houston says, Steve, you have a great racing program. Nice to see the whole family involved.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Steve. Well, hey, man, we appreciate you coming on tonight. You got anybody you want to thank here? Give a shout out to before we let you go?
Oh yeah, for sure. Obviously I give the Lord all the credit and glory for everything I do. I was sick when I was a young kid. I actually had a brain aneurysm.
Wow.
And I was in a coma for about a month. And when I come out of that coma, doctor said I'd be brain dead for the rest of my life. So when I came out of that, I had to learn everything, how to do everything over again, from riding a bike to speaking to everything.
Wow.
So I give him all the credit and glory for even being able to do what I love to do. And I was fortunate to go on and play college baseball and basketball and just live a normal life, or what is normal. So I give him all the credit and glory for letting me be able to do what I do and have such a great family and be surrounded by such great people. And Darren and Veronica, they have been absolutely great to me. Hey, like I said, he gives me. I know how much he loves that car. I mean, he's won 2 nationals in it. That car's a good car, and I know sometimes he wants to go racing, and he don't, because I have it. And he wants me to race it. So I'm very appreciative of them. They, not even on the racetrack, but off the racetrack as well. I mean, they really do take care of me and my family. And obviously Jeff and Denise, everybody at the shop. Jeff is me and my dad are as close as 2 people could get. And me having to move to Kentucky to come here was one of the hardest things I ever did. But man, Jeff stepped up as a father figure from day one, and me and him are close. He's one of my best friends, and obviously my mom and dad for getting me in this crazy sport. And everything they've done for me. Can't thank them enough. Obviously, our sponsors, Goodyear, HPX, that high performance expo show, which I thought went really well this year, and I think they got it scheduled for next year as well. It's already on the calendar.
Nice.
Yeah, Lucas Oil, they take care of us. So, and then, even the people that I work with here at the bank, if when I come in, all I got to say is I don't take advantage of it. Like, I work, but if I need off, they make sure I'm able to get off to go do what I love. So, and I'm, Neil. I think you met our buddy Neil. He's been with us racing for the last couple years, but he didn't go. He even bought a car. He's run Super Street a little bit. So he went to South Georgia, but he had to leave early. But when he left, Brooke won and I runnered up. And then we went to Bristol, and Jeff's still in second round, and then he didn't get to go to VMP, and I won. So I told him he ain't allowed to come back. He's out of here, son. So but yeah, he's a big help for us as well. So we appreciate him, and obviously Langdon and Lincoln and my family here, they love it. So
that's great.
That's the best part. It's all good. And like I said, your show and Dragon Insights, it's really where I made it. I got to looking at Dragon Insights and kind of my scorecard, and I knew I wasn't hitting the tree up to my expectations or near as consistent as I need to be hitting the tree. So I made some adjustments based on that, and it's really showed up at South Georgia and Virginia. Even my dad told me, he said, "Now you're driving like you used to drive," you know. So he's been on me a little bit. So
That's
yeah,
great. Hey,
yeah,
that's what it's there for. Glad
absolutely.
to be able to help you out, and
Yeah,
congratulations. I mean, your name will be on the website this week. Alicia updates all the winners,
yeah,
so way to go. And you're a premium member, and you'll
yeah,
get
premium.
a free year's
Yeah, yeah,
membership.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Everybody needs to get that for sure. I mean, that's I felt like I was in a little slump. I just didn't feel like I was hitting the tree. As I feel like my strong suit, anyways, is the finish line. Um, but I need to hit the tree well too. But I just been up and down a little bit too much this year than I have been in previous years. So
Yeah, I
I
know the
really
feeling.
needed, yeah, I really needed to get locked in and get focused. And a lot of us, mentally, this game is 99% mental.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes it so hard at a national event to win is the variables over a course of 3 days. I mean, you're making your qualifying runs in the morning, a couple of times, and then you don't race again till the next day, and you'll make a couple rounds there, and then you go to night racing where you hadn't had any data at. And then if you're lucky enough to get to Sunday, you're racing in the middle of the day where you don't have any data, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so, that mindset versus the bracket racing, the rhythm racer type of racer,
Yes,
is it's two totally different types of racing, you know.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. All right, Steve. Well, we wish you luck here. We're going to rattle off the points. We'll let you go, and then I'll rattle off the points, and
Sounds
we'll
good.
see how you're shaping up. All right, buddy?
All right. Thanks, man,
All
for
right.
having me.
You say hello to the wife and kids. Get them kids in bed. They're probably waiting for you to get off of here. And we wish you luck rest of the year, bud. And I'll
All right.
hopefully see you in Dallas. All right?
Yeah, we'll be there.
All right.
All right.
Take it easy,
Thanks,
man.
man. Yes,
See
sir.
ya.
See you.
Steve Foley, what a guy. Nice guy. And heck of a racer, too, right? There's Neil Hobbs. The jinx is gone. That's funny. That's a funny story. You know what? I had a friend that used to come to all the races with me. I miss him dearly. He doesn't come as much as he used to, but he'd always, whenever he didn't come, is when I would win. So he would always say, "You always win when I'm not there. So why should I even come?" But it was more fun when he was there. He's a funny guy. All right. Well, like I said, let's go over some of the points here and see where we are at. Stock Eliminator top 5 nationally is Jeff Atkinson, Jimmy Hidalgo Jr., Bruce Castle, Josh Decker, and Steve Foley. He's number 5 right now in the world in Stock Eliminator. There you go, Steve. Top 5. Super Stock top 5. Leo Glassbrenner, Jimmy Hidalgo Jr., who is also in second place in stock. Evan Kowalski in 3rd, Mike Cotton in 4th, and Michael Howard in 5th. And then I'm going to run through the top spots in each division. So Division 1, Stock Eliminators, Katie Sapanik. Super Stock is Peter Diagnolo after the weekend he just had. Division 2 is Jeff Longany in stock and Mike Crutchfield in Super Stock. Division 3 is Joshua Decker in stock. Fred Bartoli, Altronics in Super Stock. Division 4, Jimmy Hidalgo is leading in stock and Super Stock. Let's go. Step it up, Walt Walker. Division 5, Ellis Booth in stock. Jason DeForest in Super Stock. Division 6 is Larry McClanahan in stock and Jody Lang in Super Stock. Division 7 is Nanette Stein in stock and Leo Glassbrenner in Super Stock. All right, so Nanette Stein with the Thunderbird. I got my Logie Stein shirt out there. Maybe I'll wear that one next weekend or next week. So congratulations. There you go. Everybody that I just rattled off right there is in first place in their respective divisions. Okay, did I have any more announcements? Hopefully I got them all in there. We got the Norwalk National event this weekend. We've got the Division 6 double in Yellowstone. That is Acton, Montana. So Division 6 points are probably going to change this weekend. They have a double Yellowstone Raceway Park. That is in Acton, Montana. And Midwest Class Racers. We had Brian Zenzen on last week. They've got a lot going on this weekend. They're Race of Champions and what is it? Because the flyer's not here anymore. They got 2 races this weekend for good money. And good luck to anybody that's heading there. That I believe was in, is that Eau Claire, Wisconsin? Just watch last week's episode. It's all on there. For some reason, it won't let me pop up the flyer again. The flyer is gone. Why can't this thing just save the flyer from last week? I uploaded it. Why does it always have to get rid of everything I uploaded from last week? Frustrating. The only way I get to chase is to get behind in points. They say it's better to chase at Walt. Walt, I think you should have been a comedian, my friend. All right, Walt. Well, you start chasing them down, okay? All right, everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we'd like to thank all the sponsors for making this show possible. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Be safe out there, and good luck if you're racing this weekend. See ya. Bye.